even better. Like, they were ready for this. So I would say that Gambit are also going to be very tough when it comes to breaking them down on that attack side, similarly to what we've seen. And I do like the fact that this is the one map where we sort of see Shadow switch over to a duelist, and that man in terms of individual skill is off the charts. So I'm excited to see him play.
Yeah, you talk about Shadow switching over to a duelist. We've also obviously got, as the desk mentioned, as we talked about, Durka before, has been playing the Sova, is again, and the value that he was able to bring here, you know, you often talk about a player switching agents from someone like a Jet. I mean, like, oh, they won't deliver, you know, quite the same way individually, and Yampy, best example of that. Man goes to a Killjoy, plays it like it's a Jet. I think Durka can do very much the same. He's got that skill set for sure, especially on a map like Bind. Starting out on the attacking side, FNATIC have already taken a little bit of damage, dealt a little bit of damage, excuse me, onto Redgar, and gotten themselves an ult orb in play. Very good early round, with the Viper Wall going up on A, and the presence already established in Bathroom. This is keeping 3 players in position, but FNATIC aren't looking to push just yet. Even with the drone that they're going up on long with, it's all about taking those ult orbs.
Yeah, they're going to be building that. But I think the orbital strike in particular is something that I really enjoy coming out from Boaster on this map, especially towards Lamps. I don't think they've cleared Redgar here, though. This is a big issue. He's managed to hide within the smoke. He bypassed the Tiger, and they will pay. 2 kills coming up here. They are eventually going to get themselves onto the site, and we know how effective those afterplants can be. Durka needs to do well to make sure he holds any further aggression, and actually, Dome is going to go down to the shock darts. This is already a problem.
Durka, post right, not cleared. Shados, he whiffs! Durka gets away with a kill in a position where he should be dead, but with Mystic tagged up from every direction, it won't matter for too much more than damage. Gambit, 1-0 they go. They come out on top on a pistol, but only barely. That very nearly slipped out of their grasp.
Yeah, well, it was purely off the play from Redgar. The fact that he manages to avoid the Tiger, like, you've got Magnum on the other side going, well, there's no one here, there's no one close, and just sneaking past it, it's so important. And that's the thing, both of these comps are heavily focused on finding information. Like, it's not too often that you do see the Sova Sky combination, but that's what it gives you. There's so many opportunities to just clear early angles. So the fact that he manages to avoid all of it and still manage to get himself a couple of kills, I don't think you'll be seeing that very often. So an important start. Again, we go back to what Neil said earlier. If Gambit can get off to a strong start, get that money rolling, get every single piece of the puzzle, they are a terrifying squad, and FNATIC have got to be careful of that.
They most definitely do. In this round right here, though, it's hard to really be careful. You've got pistols. You're going to look to group up and use the numbers to your advantage, because the weaponry certainly ain't. But up close is Nats with a Judge, and you're doing a whole bunch of damage. When they run on through that wall, you're able to take them down with just a one shot. And with only Magnum left alive, I like the idea. Going towards Bathroom. Maybe he gets a free ult orb. He won't, but it's a good idea. He got one on long as well. So altogether, he's made the best of a bad situation, you know?
I can safely say that the player I would least like to play against ever is Nats. Like, just everything he seems to do is just forcing players, like, into such unfavorable duels that there's just very little you can do about it. Like, you're not gonna, like, for example, if you're talking about pure individual aim, I'm gonna give Shados, like, probably the mantle on his team. You could also give it over to Durka on the other side. But in terms of forcing you to take bad duels, Nats wins that every time. Like, they're having to go through the screen straight into a Judge. Like, how are you ever going to come out down top?
Smokes to come down, Wolf to go through, this time definitely clearing its corners as it goes. The smoke not there to block off vision. The nade, though, very good damage, delays their push, which surprises me that Redgar runs out so readily to his death as it happens. Mystic busy spraying away at the Wolf as the wall drops. Shados is able to catch him off guard, and with the heal up, the shock dart shouldn't be too threatening. Magnum dealt with after just a single kill, and this is looking, oh, that nade is so good, and that's brought back up online because of the frags going his way. I mean, this is beautiful stuff from Gambit on a round where they have such a weak buy. The gap is being bridged, and Nats soon to just completely blow up that bridge. He was to catch Durka on that flank with the Judge, but instead he gets free mid control, and they know now that all they have to worry about is Bathroom.
so low on HP. Even the range advantage is not going to help them out too much. Defo already just swinging on the corner, and Dirk at 4 HP. It didn't matter what gun came back around, he was screwed. So Gambit are actually going to convert their bonus round. So very well played from Shados, as you mentioned. Like, his utility usage so far on Raze has definitely been solid. And there's actually the quote that came out from Boaster is that if you're using their comp, he doesn't think it's possible if you don't have that Raze. We're already starting to witness some of the ability of these players. Now, this is the start, exactly what Gambit needed. That turnaround coming into the second map. Now, we do favor FNATIC here. It has to be said. Like, this is their bread and butter. This is the map that, well, almost put them on the map within Europe. They're going to come in with what is a relatively weak purchase, a bit of extra money spent to just try and make things costly and see if they can steal a round away. And they do still have a lot of utility, so if they can get an opening duel or two, it might not be too much of a problem to convert the round.
Oh, close in the smoke. Doma, well, he meets his demise pretty quickly. Flash to delay further, confirm there's more players here, but Magnum's able to take down a player, but not retrieve the weapon. Gambit maintain advantages, and with FNATIC having such a weak buy, pulling these kind of rounds back is tough. They should be able to get this spike planted.
Look at that.
But they want to just force the duels first, and as their numbers thin out, it looks like they're going to be ending this one in a pretty disappointing way. You know, I'm not quite sure that I've heard FNATIC say it, but I've heard a lot of teams say about Bind that they don't like the map so much versus especially CIS teams because it promotes at times a more puggy playstyle and can really allow teams that have just a lot of firepower to take over the map. And with Gambit being here, despite the fact they don't play it a whole lot, that can certainly be a factor that could mess up FNATIC's plan.
But I guess it's weird because they don't play it much within this tournament. Within their region, they were playing it all the way up to the semifinals. So they were definitely happy to play it. Maybe it was just this after-plant meta that they weren't really too accustomed to. Like with this comp in particular, they've only actually played a couple of maps. So it could just be comfort and other teams almost allowing them to get that map out of the pool based on the veto that's come up so far. So I don't want to sell almost the tale that Gambit are not good at Bind. There's definitely not the case. It's just not their preferred map of the ones remaining. And going into the final, if they make it to the third, then it starts to be a little bit more comfortable once again. For now, though, we are going to see them slowly making their way. Just look at Nats's position. I feel like he's going to end up just stuck behind the wall, and he's going to end up catching somebody out.
There comes the drone. It's going to go right on past. Nats destroyed. Oh, no! That's not what you want. Dome is just double open. He's healing back up after the Viper util fades away. Chronicle wants to pull something back. He gets into the corner with his teammate. Himself and Shados looking for duels with these players. Well, they've disappeared. It might be against Houdini. Defo, though. Oh, he pulls a magic trick off of his own. He pulls a spike out of a hat. It's right beside him, but he's all by himself. A 1v3 to win out, and it's not there. Dome is a 4K in this round to put keep them on 4. Yeah, one thing I'll mention as well is that for Gambit, it's not that they don't play Bind in that they've been banning it. As a matter of fact, most of the games that they've played in VCT, it's been the decider match. It just hasn't been played. They haven't needed a decider match. So it's an interesting point that, you know, it's not a map that if you look at, oh, when did they last play it? It's like, oh, it was quite a while ago. But that doesn't mean they're not comfortable here.
Well, that round in particular, I feel like Doma has come along and put the team in his Dora Explorer backpack and just carried them through a double entry into the site through all of Viper's utility. But is this going to be the start of something now? Because there's still plenty of cash available for Gambit. They have purchased into this round, no problem. And they're still looking to try and get proactive in towards the bathrooms. It's been a point of contention thus far, and they've come out on top the majority of the time. The Showstopper not going to do too much, but it's in combination with Dirk's Hunter's Fury. They also have the Seekers to try and clear the angle, and Shados, again, attempts a cheeky play through the smoke. But now with the information to hand, and in fact, Nats, with his head removed from his shoulders, it leaves just 2 players remaining. But they're only against 3.
Not a bad spray return from Chronicle. Doesn't take a lick of damage bar the Viper wall, and takes a kill to put them back in a reasonably doable spot. Drone going out, clears out lamps. Doesn't look like they can see him peeking in from Bath either, but the time is ticking away, and that's ultimately the problem. They need to make a move. The recon goes out. They'll spot nothing from it. Take some damage. They lined up there, but it doesn't seem to matter. Shados on his own. He won't be like that for much longer. His team about to respawn as the round goes to FNATIC. 4-2, building it up on the attacking side. Gambit need to be careful they don't stall out, because we mentioned, it's important that they definitely get off to a good start. But if they stop at 4, well, that's a bit of a problem.
Interestingly as well, like we haven't seen Mystic using a lot of his utility just for those after plants. I think they've really needed it to try and deny the quick reclaiming of space from Gambit, because they really have been battling so much for control. We've seen them, again, get aggressive into the bathrooms, looking to try and fight for those positions, but also battling through the smoke that FNATIC are putting down to almost try and stop them getting into those after plants initially, something that I feel is necessary, because we know how strong players like Mystic, players like Boaster, in fact, can be once they get settled in those spots. Now, for this round, it is looking slightly more passive. The reason for this is you do currently have Shados on that operator. Not normally the man that you'd highlight for picking up the weapon, but with his current agent selection, it definitely makes a little bit more sense. Dirk are going to use the drone to try and find information, but actually a deeper smoke thrown down. Maybe to try and make things a little bit more awkward, but instead it actually looks like FNATIC are just happy to try and battle here, going straight into the 3-man stack.
Oh, on the backside, one is spotted, but Redgar, he swings out wide and dies as well. What's going on? Dome even ran out of ammo, pulled out the classic and got that duel. FNATIC forcing Gambit into, what is the save? Immediately. The operator in play for Shados, not even going to find a chance to take a shot in this round. It's FNATIC overrun B. I mean, that was, when you think of, let's say, European versus CIS, Valorant, Counter-Strike, doesn't matter what, like tactical FPS, that looked more like what you would imagine a CIS team would do. Just straight barreling at them like, you want to fight? All right, let's go. Let's take those duels.
I almost think that's one of those rounds as well where Boaster is just like letting Doma off the leash. Like we've seen him have his sort of more casual relax map on the last, where he's stuck on the Sage, not really able to sort of free roam and get aggressive. And then on this one, it's just like, right, Doma, you do you. You take those fights, you get in the face of the opponent, and they dismantled Gambit. Like you spoke just a few rounds ago about the fact that a lot of people credit CIS teams because of some of the brawlier nature of this map, because of the ability to win off of individual skill. Well, that was 3 of the 5 players waiting, and they didn't get a single kill.
Remember, Gambit are the team that won the Masters final. They're the Masters champions of CIS. Now, they're starting to struggle versus FNATIC, and well, if they lose this map, they won't even be making it to this Masters, let alone winning it. Of course, very different scenario considering, of course, you're talking about the best in the world as opposed to best regionally. But this team is well respected within the European region, so is FNATIC. The attack side grouped up outside of Hookah, definitely feeling a bit of confidence towards that B side in the early stages. The wall again consistently put down on the A side. This just masks anything that you want to do. If you're going B, they don't get that indication of where your wall goes.
Looks like they're actually going to go pushing towards the Viper's pit. Now, the problem is they have been tagged by the drone. The Molotov also going to be used. They're trying to just catch Nats through that smoke. If he goes down, so does the pit, and so does the majority of the defense. And you can still see on the other side of the map, they do have a couple of players waiting. Now, Redgar, it's been a little bit hit and miss. In the early rounds, he was able to sneak through. Now he's playing up close. If they get this opener, it leaves a lot of pressure onto Defo, who's actually playing without a rifle. But hearing that Judge rattle off a shot on the other side, I wonder if that might put a little bit of fear into the hearts of the opponents. Never mind. They just peek into it.
Oh, he's being tagged up a little bit, makes a move around the side, picks up a weapon, takes down Mystic. Doma's on his way, but Redgar deals with him as well. Oh, what is going on? Redgar walks out for 4 and only robbed of the ace by the teleport. He's not going to even follow, not going to pursue. Instead, he'll keep the spike and the round win. This is devastating now for FNATIC. They had a good chance in that round. The shock dart to tickle him up, 11 HP. Not a chance of carrying that weapon through to the next. What a play by Redgar. It starts with just a Judge, and he walks out with 4 kills.
almost think that we have to stop saying just a judge. Like, I'm starting to fear the judge more than I'm actually fearing an operator. Because it's like, if you hear a bullet shoot off, it's like, if you walk around that corner, you have to insta-kill him. Otherwise, you could just spam bullets that will kill you in one shot. Like, it is a truly ridiculous gun close range, and well, FNATIC have just felt the bite of it. 5 rounds already on the defensive side. Now, we sing the praises of FNATIC's attack. Now, sure, the manner in which they won the last few rounds were starting to make us a little bit worried for Gambit, but they are still in a pretty good position here. And being that this is the map that I think we almost gifted over to FNATIC, the one where I think most people now expect them to close it out, this isn't looking bad for the CIS squad.
No, not at all. Again, it comes down to the competence we set up at the start of the game. The Gambit, they know what they're doing on this map, and albeit their map pick previously didn't go exactly as planned, they're not a team that are going to count themselves out of it. They're able to bounce back. That's for damn sure. Now, one of the scariest things as a Viper player is always going to be that drone, and you saw it in the previous round. Oh, he's even tagged him this time through the wall and the orb, and they're going to just push on through, get some nice control, try for the sprays, not get much done there. And in fact, with shock darts and snake bites, I'm surprised none of these come into play in towards Hookah. Even despite that, well, not even despite that, they just lose all the fights. That's oh, that was awkward.
30 seconds left.
Very disappointing round for Gambit there. You know, that they get everything going their way in the early round. They know that, okay, we've given up Hookah control. They have some util they can throw back in. They decide not to. And then those duels taken perfectly work out. 20 seconds left. Okay, Seeker goes out. Shados in the open. He's got another. Backs off. 13 seconds. If he didn't get hit by that, the nade was going through. Instead, uses it to cover as he goes over towards the spawn. And Shados 3Ks this. How did he get away with that?
You could tell as well, Mitch. You thought that was over.
100% it's a 1v3.
You did not believe.
It's a 1v3. They know he's trapped in elbow. Of course I didn't believe.
They even committed Seekers as well. Like, nobody defending the player planting the spike. And then, well, this is just style points from Shados. A quick kill to pick off one, and, well, just reading the remaining player, Magnum, trying to flank him. Of course, he wouldn't be doing anything else, but what a play from Shados. Brings them around that never should have been. They even took some massive risks. Like, Redguard TPs behind them in the early stages of that round, and still sticks the landing, tries to get someone from behind. Now, this is another very aggressive push coming out from the defensive side. They have just taken this round into their own hands, fighting tooth and nail versus FNATIC. And we talk about displacing them, not allowing the afterplants. They're not allowing them out of the spawn.
Very true. You know what? Finally, we're getting to see Gambit.
Add that to the list, Lothar. Add that to the list. Don't let them out of the spawn.
Duh. They don't give them a single bit of breathing room. Oh, no. Maybe they do. Come on, man. Let me understand what's happening. 1v3s are apparently the easiest to win, or it's looking that way. That's a nice little angle we ain't seen before. Peace and serenity. That's what we needed after the last 2 rounds. But it is like, this is the Gambit that we've been waiting to see, that we've expected for so long, and now they're delivering. On Icebox, they were a little bit sleepy. They hadn't had their breakfast, their cereal yet, but now they've eaten it up, plenty of extra milk. It's looking good.
That was almost a disrespect play as well. Like, after the last couple of rounds coming so close, a big clutch, to just go running straight through the TP and just brawl out the bathrooms as well. Gambit are in the mood. They're looking for an upset on Bind. They're looking to take us to a 3rd and final map. And Doma, once again, is going to try and make a play. So much utility to clear, and Nat is already going to take his head clean off. He's looking for more. The spike is on the deck, and Gambit are just thriving throughout this chaos. Durka, the last man standing versus 5 players. And what all he can hope to do is just try and duck out of here.
We said it on the previous map, and we'll say it here. Oh, the tables turn, man. It's Gambit, they get off to a good start. FNATIC start to claw it back, 4-3, and then all of a sudden, something just awakens inside of them. They're like, wait, we don't get to go to Iceland if we lose this? Oh, damn. I thought this was like seeding or something. We better start playing the game. They're looking so good with it. They've found their confidence. Their mojo is back. With just Durka left alive, this round is certainly theirs. Yeah, I don't believe in this one, Tom, to make that clear, but hey, maybe there'll be another surprise.
just for the record, Mitchman does not believe, so the chances of this clutch happening has gone up by at least 8%.
It's gonna be like a 5-man Hunter's Fury.
I'd be impressed. The thing is, they are going to come looking for him. Like, at this stage, Gambit have got the finances that removing this weapon would be worth it. Stop the extra utility that's there for them as well,
left.
and I don't think they're going to find him. He's almost hiding in plain sight. One of the more obvious choices, but they've cleared out the whole spawn. They've gone looking together. It's only Chronicle that I think could drop him at this stage. I thought in the last second he was going to get him, and that would have been heartbreaking. You spend all that time patiently waiting. But yeah, this has been a phenomenal defensive side from Gambit. They are not allowing any of the plays. They're not allowing after plants, anything. They're just denying them before they even get into the site. And even the riskier plays that were working early on from Doma, they seem prepared for them now. It's like they've adapted from those few rounds that have come through.
And a couple of these things, you know, you can see that there's some shakier play from FNATIC. Like Doma going out there with the ult, he just doesn't quite connect it. There's a couple of little mistakes happening, and those happen regardless of the stage you're at, the game that's in it. I won't read too much into it, but it's Gambit punishing every single thing that they can. That 1v3 was the best example. They face, even attempt to face together, face one at a time, and Shadows just tears them to shreds. I'm loving this new face of Gambit. This old face of Gambit, really, but in the context of yeah, in the context of this series, I'm loving the new face that they're showing, because this was definitely absent on the previous map and even throughout the couple of rounds here. He's gonna get it.
If he gets any kills here, I think I'm gonna be frustrated. He's gonna put down another smoke. Oh, it's got away! Oh, that is such a risk from Redgar. I wasn't expecting it to work, but even still, that's gone desperately wrong. Chronicle, he still has his Hunter's Fury. And look at the flank. They've already gone pushing all the way up, just taking so much control. Nat's already picking off another one, trying to bring back the round. And now the spike's been dropped on the deck into a 2v2. This has stopped being FNATIC on the attack. Gambit are now playing this as the attacking-sided team.
Hunter's Fury pop to clear it out. They can go and retrieve that spike at least for a moment. The flash doesn't spot anybody. Gambit, they're split up. They're spread out. This is an opportunity. The wolf clears out a lot. It's going to at least be caught. The TP, as they now know that he's close, they're going to face the fight. Defo, well, he was happy to take the duel, but it doesn't look like there's going to be too much of a problem in getting this spike planted. They've made it over. Durka wants to initiate combat, and it goes his way. Now rotating all the way to A. But Defo, oh no, he hasn't gone behind. He hasn't taken the TP. Instead, he's going to be tucked in the corner, Tom. It's just such a nasty angle from Defo. They don't expect it. He waits for them and shuts FNATIC down. 9 on the board for Gambit at his desolation. This FNATIC barely get off the starting point. What a round by Defo as well. The prediction game, this man is in their head.
This was unbelievable. Like, this is the biggest of brain plays. Like, I think you even have to go past 200 IQ to just realize what he did. Reading into the fact that the spike hadn't gone down, maybe heard the footsteps at a distance, but they did walk the majority of the way. And I'll be honest, even in that moment, I thought he was going to push forward and end up walking into them. Instead, perfect read, and every single member of Gambit, like, you compare them to the last map and this one, it's night and day. Like, this isn't the same team anymore. They are disrespecting FNATIC on their own map choice. And they even said it. They said a lot of teams play against FPX and show them too much respect. Well, clearly they have the same mantra when it comes to FNATIC.
That's like the cherry on top, or the nose in the face on the wall made out of knife scratches, which is what we just saw Defo make there. It's a beautiful little painting and lesson in art. Getting 9 rounds on the board for Gambit, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now, FNATIC are trying to bring that confidence back in themselves, get it flowing. All right, is the mojo there for them? They're all blinded, but still get away with a kill. And now the man advantage is firmly secured, and even further. Okay, took a little longer than I thought on that fight. Chronicle 1v4. It's a pistol round. If they lose this, let's move on to next map. This should be FNATIC's.
let's run it back. Let's play it to a third. Well, Chronicle, he's got barely any utility as well. Doesn't have an upgraded pistol. Like, it really would take a miracle for him to pull this one off with the classic. But you know what? We've already witnessed some rounds that don't really make much sense to me. So we'll see if he can make anything work here. First kill down. Mystic is gone, so any utility they would have had is dissipated. A second kill as they're going to bring this one up to half. He's got both players! Oh, the worst thing is, if he has a ghost there, I think he wins that. That's ridiculous.
He could have gotten a right-click double kill. He could have, you know, like that. No, stop it. That can't be happening. It was very nearly a 1v4 clutch. Can you imagine if FNATIC lost that round? I don't care about the score on the board. Like, oh, it's 10-3. They can come back. They can get 2 buy rounds, whatever. Doesn't matter. You imagine how that previous half went. They were just getting styled on, and then Chronicle pulls out a 1v4. Even where he got it to, they realized they got lucky. They were very close to losing that one. If his teammate had a ghost and he picked it up on the way back, they lost that. They need to start really building the confidence back, and they tried it in the start of the pistol, but I think a lot of that has been defeated coming out of it. Now flash through the smoke is going to grant them a nice aggressive play. They lose a lot of HP to the spray and to the poison orb, and then they lose a player in the form of Chronicle. All 4 towards the TP. They're going to jump on through and try to take the B site, but FNATIC are still here waiting.
Yeah, Doma made the decision to stay within the site, and he's got probably the best gun for the job right now as he pulls out the judge and just looks to clean them up. So blind as well. A perfect flash place, and he will build up just one away from the showstopper as well. So, you know, it's looking a little bit better for FNATIC. Now, I'll say I think that the first half definitely didn't go to plan. Some awesome setups. I think Nat's proving that defensive Viper is pretty filthy. But now we have to see if Gambit still construct their stuff on the attack. Bear in mind, if somehow FNATIC managed to turn this around, pull off an impressive defensive side, Gambit are out, and FNATIC are going to Iceland. So everything on the line in this map.
The stakes are definitely high. A deep flash into Bath is going to give a lot of info and free map control for them. And the question is, do they want to go up there and grab their orb? Because a couple of these guys are pretty close. Like Chronicle in particular, just 2 away from picking up his ultimate. It's going to creep on forward. This bathroom control, you'll see teams fight for. You'll see, especially in EU, FNATIC and FPX. I think FPX more so even will constantly duel in towards bathroom. You'll see Angel on the defensive side wanting to swing in and take fights. FNATIC to a slightly lesser extent. But in this map, it seems like the control over ult orbs has been sought for by FNATIC in the early stages of their attack, but it has kind of fallen by the wayside since Gambit started to pull out the most aggressive style we've seen from them to date. Oh, he gets away with that. Redgar's very lucky to be alive.
This is, of course, the bonus round for FNATIC, but they're going to at least want to make this one costly. They've got everyone here. The 4 rotations come through. Nothing to really deny the spam, but they in fact get away with it without really any trouble at all. They're going to look to fall back into those deadly after plant positions. Nat still with his snake bites, but FNATIC have done well. They've turned this into a 5-on-3. The first one lands to at least stop any defusal, but Dirka's just running riot. Another kill coming up for him. Magnum picks off another, and they could have all the afterplant they want, but they need to kill this man. He still has the Hunter's Fury. They know how important this is going to be. They are chasing Chronicle as they get onto the defusal, and I think he's realized at this stage there's nothing he can do to stop that defusal. There is no escape.
Yeah, I think especially when there's 2 players still towards the site with a decent amount of HP, they're just going to tank the first one, you know, let you get 1 kill, but they'll get it halfway. The other guy defuses, and it's GG'd. 1v4s, you know, Hunter's Fury to deny defuse ain't really a concern. You've got to get a couple of kills, and then they denied him that with the damage done. 9-6. FNATIC, they're not down and out of it yet. They're certainly still putting up a good old fight. But Gambit, they've got the lead. It's secured, but it's about to get a little bit tougher to hold on to. Because at the moment, it's going to be a pretty weak buy. And I say that, and I see Shade has got a judge. And I focus on the judge more so than the Vandal, because in the game that we've seen so far, it seems like the judge is getting a hell of a lot done.
Yeah, they finally nerfed the Bucky, and all it's really done is put more of a focus on the judge. I guess it's a little bit more expensive, Shados. It takes a lot of damage, but maybe it's not quite as bad as we first thought. It's the extra 50 he's lost. Well, the benefit so far of what we're seeing from Omen is those shadow steps, able to negate the majority of the utility, but it hasn't done them much good in terms of actually taking home some of these rounds. It's getting them plants, it's putting them into decent positions, but FNATIC are doing very well on their retakes.
A couple of super aggressive plays there. Redgar swinging in through the wall, excuse me. Snake bite down, it doesn't even hit. There's nothing they can do. But taking up weapons is a huge bonus for them, and they're getting a few out of this one. That's a lot of damage done considering the stage of the round that they were at, and even managing to retrieve some as well. Hey, I view that as a very, very positive round for Gambit.
Yeah, I'll say, if anything, I think the orbs that they actually managed to get are probably the more important, because I think there was a couple of players with like 7,000 or 8,000 credits. So for FNATIC, like even looking at their money now after the purchase, they're still in a pretty good spot. I don't think they're going to be like, oh no, we can't afford to buy 2 operators this round. Like it doesn't matter. As long as they keep streaking rounds together, that's they literally can. But that's what I'm saying. It's like it's not going to play the biggest part for them. Yeah. But earning up an extra couple of ultimate orbs, you could see that there's quite a few actually close to coming online. If they can get one of the orbs in the early rounds, we could see Defo on the Sky Ult as well. Like the Seekers is something that's so impactful with clearing a lot of the positions, especially with all of the Viper utility we've seen so far. Like that's one of the focus ults you want to be getting. And then you could still even get the Viper's Pit or use that Hunter's Fury to try and clear out some of the early angles. On the other side, not a whole lot available. Hunter's Fury will be good, maybe to try and deny some of the players if it gets to an after plant or stop the plant altogether, but other than that, it's not going to be the focus, I guess you could say, for FNATIC in this round. On the other side of things, the attack again, much more of a slow default. This is the Gambit way, the CIS way, if anything. Being patient, watching for any early aggression. We are going to see a guiding light, finding at least some information early on for FNATIC. And they will keep 3 players on this B site in the early stages.
Drone up. Not going to really see anything after that blind goes through. I'm going to dog out long, see what's there. But push is on its way. Oh, Doma has managed to make his way back, throwing out the nade, trying to isolate fights, but gets dealt with very quickly. Luckily, Mystic is there to save the day with that double kill. Had some support as well. You know, the focal point of that round was exactly where FNATIC were. They were so ready for that play to come on in. All the players basically on the site by the time. Like, look at the rotates. Even by the time that the first player makes it onto the hookah ledge, there are 4 players on B side.
Yeah, I think as well, this is something that you can even say is comparable to the way that Liquid were playing earlier on Haven. Like, they have so much utility, especially on that B site in the round, that you're having to go through Viper utility, you're having to go through Boaster's Molotov placed just below the window, and then his Sky Smoke used to just try and slow you down. And by that point, you've already put a lot of your eggs into the basket of the B site, so you're committed to a push that never really looked like it was going to be successful. They're actually going to pick up the pace, but it seems like a similar setup. They've still got multiple players here. Doma, in fact, is very deep at the moment, but Nats has come out with a couple of kills and made this one look possible.
I think he was even blind when he took down Magnum. That was just a pre-fire that came through. And when Nat's getting that kill, he pops his ult online. That's going to be the site covered for anybody walking out of spawn. He even avoids the drone coming through and has a great angle. Oh, you can't even pre-fire this. He knows there's players in towards the spawn.
What?
How's Durka gotten away with that? Low HP here at least, but that's disgusting. The Shock Dart takes down Shados and Chronicle 1 versus 2. He's got them both, but no! Durka flicks over for the 4K, saving the day. That's a devastating round for Gambit. And, I mean, if it didn't go their way in the first place, you wouldn't be that disappointed. But with Nats making such a huge play, having a great position, dodging the drone, dodging the recon arrow, he did everything right. And then just gets shut down.
Yeah, and in terms of finances, you're right. They didn't have much in the round, but they did, I think it's 3 ultimates. So it's cost them a lot, especially with the position. I don't blame them in the spot that they managed to get. I also want to add, Durka is not normally. Like, the way this man plays, I don't understand. Like, it's funny because I was like, eat your words. But at the same time, he shouldn't have got that kill. Why is he able to just flick so fast to kill the player up close? A dominating first half for Gambit, Mitch. It's now level.
Here we go. Showstopper popped out. Shados, he's out for revenge. He doesn't like how the previous round went, but, well, he might not like how this one goes if he stays in that snake fight for too much longer. The wall's still up as Durka gets caught crossing. There's a good start for the Magnum running out, but again, stuck in the open with a flash in hand. We're down to a 2v3. FNATIC on the back foot. Even trying to destroy poison orbs with bullets. Just an instinct kicking in. That's from below, grabs another, and Boaster is left alone. He's completely boxed out of this one. They know where he is. He's down to 1 HP as his legs are going to be seen coming out. His chances are 0. 10-9. Gambit pick up the round.
Yeah, a complete pace change as well from Gambit. Just straight into the A site. They look to take deep control as well because, let's be honest, their holds have actually been pretty poor. Like, they haven't been able to keep the site. The retakes from FNATIC have been superb, so they just didn't allow them to. Like, Nats takes very deep control. In fact, I think that Magnum actually ran past one of the attackers as he was trying to get towards Lamps because he just didn't realize that they had actually pushed all the way through their own smoke. So Gambit almost just trying to displace any chance of the retake by not allowing any space at all. A good adaptation, something I think will be difficult to recreate. And you mentioned control towards the bathrooms. This is probably one of the most effective uses of this Viper's Pit, because by the time you get to the other side, you're 1 HP.
Yeah, it covers so much ground and it protects a very valuable resource in the form of that ultimate orb. Although in this round it wouldn't have an immediate effect, it's more like the domino effect, right? You give it up in this round and the next. Showstopper pop will stop them pushing up and maybe save Doma's life potentially if they rushed him down. It also buys them a lot of space. They know now Gambit steps heard running back, right? They don't know that it's going to be a full commitment to the A side, but if it is, anyone coming in through Bass is going to be in trouble. And you see the drone on the map. It's coming through to try and spot Mystic. It will make it all the way in, but it looks like he's dodged it. It was Durka that it spots instead, hiding behind the site. And here's where Mystic has his side covered. Durka has to do a lot of work on the front lines or else they're going to be in a lot of trouble. And down Mystic goes. A player already made it out of Bath on the left side. Durka somehow surviving, and a shock dart through will not finish him off because Redgar's too quick to jump in and find it. Now the man advantage gets taken out of their hand for just a second. We're swapping back and forth and seeing death everywhere as Gambit eventually come out on top. I do like Redgar's positioning in this round. I feel like going in through lamps like that, there's so much distraction going on to mid and to Bath that he's able to open up a huge side angle and take down a lot of players.
Well, I think that's the difference that we're starting to see from Gambit. Is similarly to what we saw in the first half. When it's these crazy manic positions, it almost just seems like the CIS squad work telepathically. Like, I don't know how their communication can be as clean as it is, because they're not allowing FNATIC to have a retake because they're not holding after plants. They're going, okay, we're going to get deep into the site. We're going to continuously fight you. And that's where this team seemed to be at their peak. Like, as said, in the defensive half, they were pushing through the teleporters and not allowing them to even get to the sites before they were fighting, because that's where FNATIC are at their best. So I think the mid-round adaptations, or the mid-map or half adaptations that are coming in from Gambit have been superb, just to almost say, you know what, FNATIC, we're not going to play the way you want us to.
When we talk about picking up those ult orbs, we'll take a look. Defo now has Seekers to play with, and 11-9. Those Seekers could be pivotal in a round like this. Thunder's Fury for Durka, and that's it. The ult economy. I mean, when you look at, yeah, Redgar's about to get his online, but I mean, yeah, it's Omen. His ultimate is glorified recon dart a lot of the time.
What do you mean, just TP spawn? That was a good strat for the first week of the game.
Yeah, exactly, until people realized what was happening. You just isolate. The Hunter's Fury is not going to find anything to start it off, and yeah, he'll get tagged up, but he doesn't really care about the Seekers. Point is, they see 3 players towards the B side, so they're going to rotate over and look for A. Doma has his nade to delay, he has a boom bot as well, and that's going out, but he might be caught without his weapon in hand. At least it looked that way for a second. A lot of damage taken by Chronicle from the wall, but oh, the blast pack from Shados. He's in lamps, he's behind them, and as Magnum tries to make a sneaky play around the side, they're just tucked in. 3 versus 3, post-plant setup, and it's time to just run that clock down for Gambit, but they might not have that option. Redgar down on 40 HP in the open and out of the game. 2 players left alive for Gambit. They're going to play this one together, but they need to be quick now. The spike could be being defused. They don't know if it's a fake or not, and it doesn't matter because Durka takes the third to close that out. Double digits on the board for FNATIC, still hot on Gambit's heels.
And this is the difference. Like, okay, Doma goes down without getting a single kill, but what he does do, he denies them the space that they've been looking for. Like, they had to play what I would call proper afterplants. And that's why FNATIC is so good. They're so methodical at holding every single angle. The second they get on that defuse, this is where Durka just seems to have a sixth sense for where everybody's going to peek him from, because that's all he has to do. Just hold the normal angles and play in the way that he normally would. So I actually think that Doma just staying alive long enough that the rest of his team can rotate somewhat wins them the round, even though it almost looked like he did nothing.
Yeah, especially
it's a weird one.
When you look at how Gambit had played it. Oh, here's the TP. Anna's... What? He committed to it and got away with that? I was about to say, as I said, glorified recon dart. The dude commits to it, even seeing a player coming for him. What's going on? Okay, well, that's thrown me off. That's for damn sure. Gambit, 4v4. They're getting pushed on. Oh, they're definitely getting pushed on. Boaster's not messing around. Flash of smokes coming out, buying them a little bit more space to play off of, and here it goes. The full aggression after the Hawk, and they only get the 1 kill. Still man advantage in favor for FNATIC. Mystic extends it further, and Chronicle is alone. The spike not ticking away nearly fast enough, and, well, the bullet to the head is going to close this round out for sure. 11-11. All things considered, very, very clean retake from FNATIC, but I'm still caught up on what the hell Redgar was doing. I don't recall seeing something like that before.
Do you know, I've realized your predictions within game are now as bad as your predictions out of game. It's like, yeah, you know, he's obviously just not gonna stick that one.
Why would he? Oh, that was
that's
crazy.
The thing, though. I feel like, firstly, it's almost a flex, but I imagine Durka on the other side is exactly the same. Like, he's just looking at him like, you ain't gonna stick that. You definitely ain't gonna do that versus me.
Yeah.
And then, but that's why it works. Because no one would expect you to do that. It's so ridiculous. And as I said, that's the way that Gambit have almost been looking to disrupt FNATIC, is they've been looking to make plays that, in reality, a lot of the time shouldn't work, but they've been able to make them work just off of pure synergy alone. So now, whoa, 11-11. I put out a tweet saying, will this be a close map? Most people said no. I don't blame you, especially after the last one. But thank God we finally ended up in a position where we've got a competitive map. It really could go either way for FNATIC. 2 rounds, and they are at Iceland. The tickets can be booked. They can get ready for a first LAN for some of the players, maybe in total, but also as a team. For Gambit, it would be elimination.
Destroy.
Masters champions of the region. It would be a shame to see them go.
God.
That's a lot of damage.
Okay.
Well, Doma's going to be fading away from that to get some flex seal from Magnum. He's right back up on full HP at least, but armor taken away. Your Gambit. Viper's Pit online, but Shadow's just 1 away from grabbing himself a big old rocket to send towards them, and he's going to be using that Spectre to rush in while Doma takes down Redgar. Doma's looking for a little bit more as well, but he has to be careful. This player's absolutely everywhere, and he takes one down with a blast back. Another goes to the orbital strike, and now with the rocket online, it's Shados that's his next victim. Chronicle running away for dear life as the 1v4 looks unwinnable. A Bulldog in hand with full armor, saving this might be a priority, or it might not, as he goes down to Boaster. 12-11, 1 round away from securing their spot in Iceland. What a comeback this has been from FNATIC. First of all, Gambit, they've got to be feeling the pressure.
Yeah, the scariest thing about this is that we've always raved and ranted about the attacking side from FNATIC. Well, they haven't really used any of those afterplants. That's what made this team so scary. It's been their retakes. Like, Gambit have been able to get the spike down so many times, but playing in the more conventional afterplants just doesn't seem to work for them. They need more space. They need more control. And over the last few rounds, I mentioned Gambit adapting. It seems like FNATIC have as well. They've started to become more prepared. Now, for the attackers, financially, they're in the bin. This is Spectres and a single Guardian. Chronicle needs to channel his inner scream, and they're going to go quickly into the site. The Showstopper should be able to open up. He's completely blind. He's just absolutely nothing for it. Magnum is going to pick off 2 instead.
Oh, that feels bad. Shadow Snats falling. Chronicle, the last man alive to maintain hope of Iceland. A Guardian in hand. And again, a 1v4 clutch. At least the first goes his way. The recon comes out. He's closing in his distance. Sees the barrel, tries the wall bang, but that just gives away where he is. Now Doma dropping a nade, forcing him out of position. They're toying with their food at this point. And Chronicle, he sees him from the side. The wall bang again, a little bit of damage, but not quite enough. Oh, he is on the verge of death. With every passing second, it seems to get closer. The players now grouping up and ready to push him down. You can feel the tension, and you can feel the victory, because FNATIC have done it.